Hey everybody, welcome back to Darvanalee Designs Studio. For those that don't know, my name's Nicole Reed and today we are here for our weekly Stitch with Me, although it hasn't been very weekly lately, so let's get started. Everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button while you're here, and also give this video a thumbs up. If you do that right now, then you won't forget by the end of the video. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping by again and taking some time out of your day to spend it with me. I am doing a Stitch with Me today. For those that don't know, basically I am going to just stitch along and talk about some of the things that's been happening. Sometimes it might have music, sometimes it might have me talking, sometimes it might have a bit of both. So we've changed it up a little bit. Excuse me. Normally I would talk about the books that I have been reading, but I have another channel now where that is just totally dedicated to books because I am very much an avid reader. It is a first thing in the morning on a Monday here in Kingaroy. It is overcast and quite cool, so hopefully my fingers won't seize up too much. They do get quite cold at times. But today we are working on Red Dragon. For those that have been around for a while, you know that I am doing this piece for my daughter for her 21st birthday. Basically, she used to have an imaginary friend and it was a red dragon. So when I seen this is her favourite fairy of Jasmine Beckett Griffith. And as soon as I seen this, I knew I had to do it. I'm actually trying to do two pieces for her, but this is the main focus piece. I've also got Wicked, Trixie and False. She absolutely loves it and she wants it, and I said no, she couldn't have it. But I'm going to do it for a surprise, but I'm not going to commit to the 21st birthday. Alright, so basically, I am just going to be doing some filling in. I have not been stitching for a long time. As you can see, I got some... If you're on Instagram, you know that I picked this up last night and started doing some, and I got all that done last night. So I was listening to a book. I'm doing a group read at the moment with my Discord members, and we are reading Gone with the Wind. So I sat there and I was 100 pages behind, so I sat there last night and listened to that and got all that done. Have my cuppa, which I very much need today because I sat up to the wee hours of the morning reading and stitching. So sorry, I'm just still getting myself organized right now. I'm just trying to find my magnifiers, and hopefully that light is good enough for you guys and you can see what's going on. Looks like I'm close enough too, which is good. It's been a hot minute since I've done this. All right, let me just have a look where I'm up to on my tablet and where I've got to fill in. So I'm just going to do some filling in today, which will make life a little bit easier. All right. Okay, so that is all of that. All right. Now, where can I sit this iPad where I can see it? You think I would have organized myself before I got on, hey? Not so much. All right, that'll have to do. I need to get a smaller tablet that I can just sort of sit up here out of the side. All right. Okay, so I am going to start stitching. We're working with 939 today, which is a very, very dark blue. And I am doing 2/1 10 stitch on this particular one. So yeah. Alright, so that's all the bits and pieces that I'm doing out of the way. So as I said, I'm just going to be filling in today. I've got all this down here. And yeah, I'll probably work on this again tonight. So I have not been here for a while. It's been a hot minute since I've done any stitching. I seem to have gone to the quilt show and I'm a little bit motivated to get stuff done, which is exciting because that means that I'll be filming for you guys and you can see what I'm doing. What else have I been doing? Well, if you haven't caught my video from last Friday, I did a floss tube, so to speak. It's sort of like a floss tube, but it's sort of the only time I do hauls, so is during my floss tubes, whether it's quilting haul or cross stitch haul or whatever. So I showed you all the goodies that I got. That video will be listed up down below, so you can go and have a look at that. And I'm so excited for some of the stuff that I got. I'm really looking forward to it. And so are some of you as well. So a few people said they can't wait to see the projects start to come to life. So some of those ones I'm going to do in a different style. I'm going to do them like a vlog style. So basically you'll just see me working on them and I'll chit chat to the camera and stuff like that. All right, these are all locked in now, so I can get rid of all of those because they're annoying me being there. And I'll trim the rest of it off later at the back. Most of it will get hidden under. All right. So I was pretty excited to pick this up last night and get some more stitches into it. I got over 1,000 stitches in, so that was good. I like to get at least 1,000 a week. I would like to get 1,000 a week in it, but you know, you need your stitching mojo for that, don't you? So yeah, so basically I haven't really been stitching at all. I've got a couple of things that are pretty close that I have put a couple of stitches in over the last couple of months, but when I say a couple, maybe 30. I just haven't been feeling it. And even last night I was just struggling a bit, and I think it's because I'm sitting in the lounge room with my husband and the TV's going, and it's really like he must be going deaf. He has to be going deaf because it was so loud. I had my book on and I had a headphone in. And at one stage, I'm like, Red, can you turn that down? I can't even concentrate with everything that's going on. Like it was, I don't know, some really violent show that he was watching. And when he clicked it, I checked out what level it was on. It was on like bloody 25. And I'm like, I just couldn't, like it was hurting my brain having it that loud. So I don't know how, like, not hurting my brain, just making me very anxious that it was that loud. Like I'm a bit of a quiet person. I like it to be, you know, quiet. I don't mind, you know, the TV going in the background and all the rest of it. I just don't need it yelling at me. That's what it felt like it was doing last night. And yeah, and of course I'm listening to Gone with the Wind in the other ear, and it's just like, oh, what's going on? But normally he doesn't have it that loud. I don't know why he had it that loud. It was the kids weren't home, they weren't in the lounge, and no one was talking. So I'm starting to think he's going a little bit deaf. Even the girls have said it too. Like, are you going deaf, Dad? Like, that's really loud. And even his books, like when he pulls up in the truck, I can hear his book as if it was right beside me. It's that loud. And he's in there with it. I know that he's got to have it up loud for when he's driving along because you can't really hear it otherwise. And I know when I've gone in the truck with him and we've been, because he's an avid audio book listener because he's in the truck all the time. And it was so, like, it's so funny. I get out and I feel like, remember when you were younger and you'd go to like a disco, I mean, some of you may be still going to discos, well, not discos, but nightclubs and stuff like that. You go to a nightclub and you'd come out and like for 2 days later your ears would still be ringing because the music was so loud and people have screamed in your ear to talk and all that sort of stuff. That's what it's like for me when I get out of the truck. Now, I already have that in my ears because I was in the, I was working for a music magazine back in the day, and I used to go and review bands and stuff like that. So I was always around loud music and all the rest of it. And, you know, when you're young, you think you're, you know, 10 foot tall and bulletproof and all the rest of it, and nothing will ever happen to you. And, you know, subsequently, I wouldn't put earplugs in. And so I've got a little bit of ringing in the ear. Not a great deal, but still it's enough there to interfere sometimes. And that's how I feel when I get out of the truck. Like I've been at a nightclub because it's been so loud. It's quite amusing, actually. And then you'll go, oh, you want to come for a drive? No, I'm good. I'm good, thanks. So I then listen to the book when he's not around. Like finish it off. I don't finish too much of his off because he's right into dystopian and sci-fi, and I struggle with sci-fi. I just, yeah, it's not my jam. So yeah, it's about the only genre that I don't read, really. And yeah, so, but anyway, so I finally picked up my stitching and I got into it last night, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. And I'm thinking that I'm gonna get I've got earphones that can listen to my books, because I listen to the classic. I listen to a lot of classics when I'm doing needlework. So at the moment I'm trying to get through the Charles Dickens Pickwick Papers. I think I'm about 75% through with that, and I started that back in February, and that shows you how much I've stitched, because I only usually do an hour or two of stitching a night, and I've got hardly any of that gone through. But I'm hoping, I did a binding last week, and I listened to that while I was, not last week, the week before, and I got a little bit done on that as well. So yeah, I'm hoping to polish them off. So I use it to, as I said, listen to the classics. I also do a little bit of reading along with the classics as well. I just find it really easy to read them and consume them that way, because I can understand the language a little bit better and all the rest of it. So yeah, but as I said, I'm super excited to be back to stitching. And if you did watch my video on Friday, you would have seen that gorgeous cross stitch, that chart that Gail from Gail Phillips got me, and I have yet to decide what fabric I'm gonna stitch on that. So I'm still contemplating. I haven't done a floss toss yet, but I've got a couple of ideas mulling around in my head. So hopefully I can get that started soon. But I've got a couple that are stitching bits and pieces that are pretty close to finishes, so I'm going to knock them off. I've had no new starts this year, and I'm still doing the no new starts, although because I'm working my whips and I have finished some stuff, I'm pretty sure I have finished a chart that I can I've earned a new start, so I'll have to check. I don't know if I can or not, but anyway, it's neither here nor there. If I forfeit, I forfeit. I don't care. I haven't really been doing any stitching anyway, so yeah. Alright, but can I get these last 3 stitches done with the thread that I've got on here? Let's pay a little bit of thread chicken. I'm pretty hopeless at thread chicken, but I'm going to try. Ooh, we might just do it. As I said, I'm just going to do some fill-in today. And yeah, and I'll probably work on this again tonight. So I'm going to bring this down here. There we go. Look at that. It's coming together. At least we've got some colour. Like, there, look how much of that blue was there. Oh my goodness. There was so much of the blue. Alright, I do have another needle ready to go. Alright, let me just cross that off so I don't think I haven't done it and put it in the wrong place. Oh. Helps if you have it on the right setting, Nicole. Alright. It's a tick. Now we're just going to move. Alright. So what other things have been going on? Not a great deal, actually. I've just been sort of trying to reevaluate what I'm doing on the channel and stuff like that. So just to make life a little bit easier for me. Been doing a little bit of tidying up and organization happening in the background as well. Yeah, just a bit of this, a bit of that. Nothing too exciting. I'm hoping to get some drawers for underneath my long arm machine. My scrap fabric is getting a little bit out of control. I've got a couple ideas of what I'm going to do for some of my fat quarters that have got big chunks out of them and stuff like that, that are like genuine scraps. And then I've got my fat quarter box that are like, I've used a pack for a quilt or a project or something along those lines, and so I've got one or two of those left out of the pack, and I chuck them into a big drawer that I've got, and so I'm looking to do something with those. So whether I turn them all into half square triangles, or whether where's that gone? There it is. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go through, and I'm going to pull out my AccuQuilt cutter maybe, and just start chopping and whatnot. I know that there's sometimes I do sell scrap bags and stuff like that, where I go through, and they're decent chunks. Sometimes you get almost a full fat quarter and stuff like that. I have done that in the past as well, just to clear some space. So that's sort of where I'm at the moment with my organisation, is getting under that long arm machine, which has a ton of stuff under it, and just getting it all sorted out, and making it usable as well. So just, yeah, very much in the throes of organisation, and just making some more room. We've had lots of challenges. We've had all the challenges going over on in DDs Quilting, Crafting and Reading, it is called now. That has been all happening over there as well. So let me just double check this. All right, now, all right, okay, just double checking where I'm at, because there's a couple of other colors in here as well. So I've done that one, and I've done that, and I've done that. Alright, let's start from the top. So I've got 3, 4, 5 rows to come down, and that is, alright, now I've memorized where that is, I can go ahead. I've just got 2 little spots that I've got to leave just down here. Yeah, so as I said, I'm in the sort of throes of organisation, so that is including also my channel, and backing back a little bit from filming and all that sort of stuff. So I am looking forward to getting that sorted big time. And this is underneath that long arm machine, there is so much fabric under there that I'm not utilizing, and I think I just need to have it sorted out, and I think that will help if I get the drawers. So I don't know which group it was in. It was one of the groups that I was in. I think it was a quilting group, the quilting and long arm group, and basically they had got some drawers from a built-in wardrobe from Bunnings, and they fit perfectly under the Avanti Q18, which is what I've got. So I've been wanting to get them for ages, but there's no point in me getting them until I organise underneath the long arm machine. Like, it's not disorganized, I've just got big tubs under there, and I mean, it's perfectly fine, but I'd like it to look a little bit neater and utilize that space a little bit more, like not just have big tubs under there, because I've got big tubs of wadding, I've got big tubs of this and that, and backings and all of that hoo-ha. And sometimes it's why are you not going through? Thank you. And sometimes you just forget it's there, and then you cut new pieces. So I'm going to I've got 2 tubs of wadding under there, and I'm thinking that I'm going to cut them up into smaller squares. And then I've also got I'm thinking that I might make some rag quilts, you know, those raggy quilts, because that utilizes excess wadding and excess fabric. So I've got little bits, I've got bits and pieces from backings from people that have left it here and whatnot. And the lady that I normally send my stuff to, she doesn't seem to be anywhere on social media at the moment, and I haven't heard from her. Normally she contacts me once a year, or I contact her, and yeah, and then basically go from there. But I haven't seen her around for a while, so I don't know what's gone on there. And I've lost her phone number, so I can only contact her on social media, and I couldn't find her the other day, so I was looking. So hopefully I'll find her sooner rather than later and say, hey, I've got some stuff here. Because she normally takes the wadding, the quilt backs, and any like smaller scraps of stuff, because she does foundation paper piecing. And she then basically she turns them into little quilts for foster kids through Linus, I think it is, that she works through. And so I'm happy for that. It's just my way of contributing to that cause. And of course, you know, like I don't really have time to sit down and make copious amounts of quilts. She's got the time, so I supply the stuff and she makes the quilts. And yeah, we're both contributing that way, and she's not forking out of her pocket. Anything like that. Alright, so I've got to leave 2 spots here. Is it 2? Yep. 2. Okay, and then I can go around. And then there's 1 down here. The rest is all the same colour. Yeah, so hopefully I can get that done in the next few weeks. I've got a couple of quilts I've got to do as well. I've got some placemats to do this week for a lady. She's not sewing anymore. Her hands are too sore, so basically when she can, she comes into town and she just drops off something for me to sew up for her. So this time she dropped off a placemat setting, so I've got to sew that together. I haven't been doing much sewing for the Facebook group for stuff for sale. I still am working through some other stuff for that. And yeah, I started, oh that's right, I started doing the star quilt that I got from the quilt show, the English paper piecing one. And then I was a bit naughty and went and bought some more stuff that is English paper piecing. And on Friday afternoon I got my last installment of the Christmas quilt from the Fat Quarter Shop, because it came with all the binding and whatnot for that, so I was pretty happy about that. So I can start that soon too. I want to start that really soon because I want to get that all together, and because it's got the backing and every binding and everything, I want to get that done sooner rather than later so I can have it on my bed for Christmas time, because it'll be a summer quilt. It won't be a heavy quilt or anything like that. Alright, yep, just double checking where I'm going next. Yeah, so I want to get that done. We're still working on the row by row. The latest installment, block 5, and row 5 for the stitch along went along on up in the group. So if you haven't heard about our row by row, we actually have a quilting row by row and a stitching row by row. So basically all the stitches and the quilters are actually getting a free pattern in our Facebook group, and you have to be a member to get it. It is, all the quilt blocks are unlisted on my YouTube channel, so if you haven't got the link, you will not find it anywhere on my channel because it is unlisted. And so to get the patterns for free, you need to be part of our Facebook group, and they will remain free until the 30th of September. And I just put up the latest installment, which was a row 5, and because it's a combination of applique, the quilting one is a combination of applique and English paper piecing, I have allowed 3 weeks between the next installment. So because it's a little bit labor intensive and takes a little bit longer to do, so you'll be able to get that done if you're doing that with the group. And if you haven't, don't forget to come over and join, and then that way you can get your pattern for free. And yeah, so normally it goes up every 2 weeks, and I'll probably check in at the 3rd week and just see where everybody's at with that row, and if some are requiring a little bit lengthy of time, because I know when people do row by rows, they like to keep up with it. And sometimes if it comes out too quick, it can make people very anxious. and they feel like they're falling behind and all the rest of it. So I am one of those people. I will bow out if I think that I'm getting behind, or I just won't start it. So basically I thought, well, I'll give 3 weeks because that's heaps of time, and that way you can get all your bits done, and then you can sit down and sew them and get the row constructed. Even if you don't get all the pieces sewn down on, you've still got them stuck down, and then you can slowly sew them as you're going between the other rows. And I'm going to leave it the same for the stitching one as well, just so people don't we're all at the same point. But I really like how the little sunflower block turned out. Turned out really nice. And I did have some issues with that if you are doing it, you would notice that there's no outro or intro into that video, because I had some issues with that. With the volume was really, really low, and all a little bit distorted as well, so I just left them off. I just found it easier just to leave them off than, because I do them separately to the video. And yeah, so I don't know what happened there, but it was just a bit funky, so I just left it off. I mean, at this stage it doesn't really matter, it's right in the middle of the quilt. Hopefully the next one won't be a problem. And I've noticed lately too, like when I've been watching, and it's not my phone, because I can watch one video, it'll be fine, and then I'll go to someone else's video, and it's like their file's being corrupted or something, and it's just got all these red lines, like colourful lines over it. And yeah, like I don't know, maybe it's just a bit of a problem going around at the moment. And a couple other people that I watched, they've had problems with files corrupting and not being able to put up videos because the file's been completely corrupted and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, who knows. But I ended up fixing my stitching software as well. It had a glitch in it. Wasn't, I don't know what happened. It kept saying that it wouldn't save, and it just, yeah, like you press the button and exit out, and it usually asks you whatever the blurb is for that particular software. You've made changes to this document. Do you want to save them? Yes or no? And every time I press yes, it'd say that it wasn't able to save the file to my computer. And it's like, what the hell is going on? So I fluffed around with it and like troubleshooted it, and basically that was useless. That was just more confusion than anything else. So in the end, I just went, oh, bugger it, I'll just uninstall and reinstall. And I probably should have done that from the get-go. Would have been a lot easier, but I didn't do that. You know, no accountant for, no accountant for brains here, right? Anyway, I uninstalled, reinstalled, and now it seems to be fine. So I don't know, it must have just, maybe when you do updates, I know sometimes it can be a bit funky. Who knows? But the problem is solved now. And next time it happens, I will just uninstall and reinstall. At least I didn't lose the whole file. The ones, like there was a couple that I was working on one for Down the Rabbit Hole, and I lost that file completely. So it's like a do-over. Luckily it's not too complicated, but it was like a do-over. And but luckily for the row by row, it was just that one row that wasn't saving. And but yeah, so that wasn't so bad. I should have a fair chunk of this done. I won't have all the stitch. I should be to the other side by now. Yeah. I should have another... When did I stop stitching on this? In late February, so that's what, 4, 5... 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks I haven't stitched. So this should have extra 11,000 stitches, so it should be somewhere over here by now. If I had kept up with it, but yeah. it is what it is. It'll be what it'll be. And if she gets it for a 21st, she gets it for a 21st. If she doesn't know, well, there's always a 22nd. And she doesn't know about it, so which makes life a bit easier for me, a little bit less stressful. But I am enjoying it, which is good. Which means that my stitching mojo is back. Actually, my crafting mojo seems to be back. I don't know what happened. It just got up and left the premises, basically. As it sometimes does. Let's see if the needle gods are nice to me today. Yes, they are. Look at that. Thread without a needle miner. That does not happen very often. Alright, I've got to leave one space down here next to this one. No, it's down on the next row, so it's alright. I think I've really am loving the 10 stitch 2/1 on the 28 count. The coverage is just phenomenal. And of course, when this gets washed, it will tighten up even further. So I'm really happy with it. And like when you step away from it, you can't even, like, there's a little, you have to be really on top of it to see these little gaps and all the rest of it. And that's probably because the thread's twisted a little bit, but other than that, like, you can just see the coverage is gorgeous. So yeah, my recommendation to anybody that's doing a Haid is just to do 2/1 on 28 count. Get yourself some magnifiers from the chemist. I use a 3.5 on mine. If you've got good eyesight, you probably only need 2.5, but yeah, they're just readers from the chemist. And I wear them like my normal glasses, and I can see the holes really well. There's no issue there whatsoever. What am I going to do? 4. Yeah, and 28 count 2/1 10 stitch. It's just, it's not bulky on the back, it's not bulky on the front. It's really easy to stitch. And I know that there's some die-hard fans out there of cross stitch, but really, why would you want to struggle trying to, yeah. I just had lots of trouble with 25 count and doing the full cross. I just wasn't getting the coverage. And that sort of, and don't get me wrong, I've actually got a piece that I am doing a full cross on. I just don't think it's for me. I just think that the 28 count 10 stitch is just a lot better for my style of stitching, and you know, for my preference, not my style, my preference of stitching. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it's turned out now, and so I'm excited to get them all done. You know, I don't know if I'll get them all done in my lifetime. They are definitely lifers. This one's my main focus. I've got Autumn Queen, which is a max colours. She's got 237 colours, and I haven't put as much as I would have liked into her either. But yeah, my main focus this year is just to try and get a lot of my little charts done, and next year I think I'm just going to be focusing on Haids, and I will just work on 2 a month. So I'm not sure how my Flosstubes will go next month, whether I will just do an update once a month on where I'm at or whatnot. I'll just see how it goes. I mean, obviously there's going to be other little ones that I still will have on my whip list, so who knows. But I think most of my Stitch With Me's next year will probably be on Haids. So you'll get to see a lot of that. And I've still got like my Pandemic as well, so I can always get a couple of days in on that each fortnight too. So yeah, it's sort of just where I'm at the moment. So I'm going to keep going until I'm finished this thread, and then I'll just wrap it up for today. And yeah, so it's good to be back. Like, you don't realize how much you have missed something until you start doing it again, I guess. Even like Brendan said to me last night, he goes, "Oh, you're stitching." I think I just needed a couple of months of just TV watching, and mind you, it's crap TV that we watch, but because I don't have control over the TV. As soon as I have control of the TV, Brennan gets up and goes to bed. I did that the other day, and yeah, I was watching something before he come home, and what was it? It was Lincoln Lawyer. It's a new series on Netflix, I think it was, or Prime, one of them. And yeah, and basically I was watching that before he come home because I was cooking dinner, and I started watching it while I was cooking dinner. And he come home, and I was engrossed in it. He was doing something on his phone, and then he was still doing something on his phone. So I snuck another episode in, and then before I knew it was like 9 o'clock. Ended up binge watching the whole thing. Didn't go to bed until like 1 o'clock in the morning, because I won't get control of the TV again for months probably. So yeah, I am a bit greedy like that. I'll just binge watch something and go for it. The other one that I want to check out, I have to do a Google search and see when the next installment of Shadow and Bone's coming out, because I binge watched that at the end of last year. Well, around September, I think I watched it. Whenever I finished the Shadow and Bone series of the books, I watched the TV series. And yeah, I haven't seen season 2 come out yet. Hopefully there is a season 2, because they sort of just left it hanging, which they seem to do a lot on Netflix. So yeah, I'll have to do a Google search on that and see where that is going to drop. Over the last couple of months, I've also been watching every lunch hour. I was watching the TV show Mum. I forget the actors that are in it, but that was funny. That was based around a mother and daughter characters that were reformed alcoholics going to meetings and stuff like that, and just through the trials and, you know, how they wreck their life and whatnot. And it was so funny, like on a humorous side. It's created by the same guy that created Big Bang Theory. What's his name? Chuck Lorre. Yeah, so it was funny as, and it had 8 seasons. So that's kept me company for my lunch breaks. You know, I usually get 2 or 3 episodes in on a lunch break. And so, yeah, I've been doing that. Sometimes I don't watch it. Sometimes I do a bit of reading. Just depends how I feel. Depends what I've been doing in the craft room. If I've been on the computer a lot, I won't watch TV. I'll read a book instead. Alright, I am going to, because I've got different colours coming in down the bottom here, but I'm going to call it a day here and get on with the rest of my day. As I said, I've got lots of organisation to do. I've got this video to edit and a couple other videos to edit. So it's a big day. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me again. And thank you for all those lovely messages of wondering where I've been and if I'm coming back and all that sort of stuff. I really do appreciate your support. And if you haven't yet done so, hit that like button and also the subscribe button if you're new here. And then that way you won't miss out on any of our future uploads. And I will be back next week for another Stitch with me. I don't know what project I'm going to work on. Maybe this one, maybe something different. We'll see how we go. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now.